Good afternoon from Turkey, everybody, from Straight Talking Arsehole. This is my last ever post on X. Social media is a complete waste of time and effort. It's just a group of keyboard warriors who have absolutely achieved zip in the 6 months I've been away in jail. So I'm not hanging about. Textual intercourse has never been my forte. Apart from having a broken hand, I just can't be bothered to text messages that just get listened to and snorted at by people who haven't got a fucking clue what they're talking about. So this is my last ever post. I challenge anybody out there from any government or any political point or anybody with any nous about them, I'm challenging you that I could stop the boats in 1 month completely. We've paid the French a shed load of money, we've paid the Border Agency a shed load of money, and the National Crime Agency is resorting to get its bread and butter to raiding hairdressers and nail bars. What the fuck is the best agency allegedly in British policing doing that? The NCA, and I was on the Serious Organised Show, which is the prerequisite to the NCA, was put into place to stop the top 5% of criminals around the world having an impact on the UK and the UK society and economy. Well, I ain't being funny, but fucking Turkish barber shops, which are Kurdish anyway, Zams, and they're not Turkish people if you go in there and ask, and nail bars are not having a detrimental effect on Britain to the degree where they need the attention of the NCA. So it looks to me like we've had a step down of who does what. Police officers do fuck all, except dance around like fairies at gay pride marches. No problem with that if that's your cup of tea. Detectives are now effectively uniform officers and deal with social media posts and crap, no decent crimes. And then what would have been the regional crime squad, what do they do now? Well, they don't exist, because they've become effectively the NCA linked up with MI5 and HMRC. Their successors could be written about on a postage stamp with a pickaxe. You know, I was one of the most experienced, most qualified undercover operatives the UK has ever had. And I'm being ignored when I suggest I could stop the boats. And the only reason I'm being ignored is because nobody fucking wants to stop the boats. Joe Public does, but he hasn't got a say. Government don't. That's a fact. When I was in the psych ward, allegedly nuts, not really, the entire workforce was unskilled, very nice, black males and females on £10 an hour. So what we're doing is we're not really importing a load of fighting age men, we're importing slave economy. So if we can pay people £10 an hour to do what British people should be forced to fucking do if they want some benefits, that's what we're doing. We're using the black labour, the foreign labour, whatever you want to call them, to suppress the economy so we don't have to pay proper money. All that will happen is the poor will get poorer, the rich will get richer, the council estates will get shittier and less attractive for anybody to live on apart from scum. There's a lot of old people, from my experience, sitting on council estates, absolutely petrified to leave home. There's a lot of women in the UK now, absolutely petrified to leave home. Why? Because we've imported a culture which thinks that women are chattels and can be used and abused as much as they want. If that's the way you want it, that's the way you can have it. I really don't give a fuck. I'm fortunate enough to not need England anymore at all. I'm self-sufficient, got enough pension money to keep me going for the rest of my life without ever having to do a day's work. I can live anywhere in the world I want because I've got a British passport. I just have to keep coming back every 90 days and have a little chip back in there, but I'll go from one country to another. We, as a country, are absolutely fucking ourselves into a corner, and I don't see why we're doing it. And one day, the politicians like Keir Starmer and co, who now has had his stuff burnt, there you go, messing around with the wrong people here, he's had his stuff burnt, you've got to ask yourself a question. Why are the hierarchy of the UK importing criminal activity like it's going out of fashion? And why are the police as much use as a one-legged man and an arse-kicking party? It's a worry. And I'm glad my children are dual national, both married Turks, both got dual nationality, both can get the fuck out of that country whenever they want. That country that I used to call my home, England. England, fast becoming a third world shit show. And if anybody says it isn't, needs to travel a bit more. Everywhere I've been in the UK, all the major cities are becoming a third world shit show. Now, that's not a racist comment, that's a fucking fact. You can call me racist if you want, I'm not a racist at all. Both my son-in-laws are Muslims. I'm not anti-Muslim. Tommy Robinson, everybody says he's a racist if you talk about him, but Tommy Robinson, he ain't far right, he's fucking right. There's a big difference. You lot need to give your heads a wobble, because if you don't, England as we know it won't exist. Vera Lynn would be crying into a fucking glass of wine right now, wouldn't she? As would all the men who fought and died for their countries. Why aren't these people who are fleeing wars staying in their countries and fighting and dying for their country to save their society? Because they don't give a fuck about their own country, and they give less of a fuck about ours. So wakey wakey, take your coffee. This is the last post. I'll stop the boats in 1 month if somebody backs it, pays for it. I don't want to see the money. I don't want to take anything off anybody. I won't ask for anything. I'll just provide the expertise and the manpower, and we'll do it all covertly, secretly, but with government backing, because I'm not going out there to get nicked by the French. Hell no. Just done 6 months in jail on a fucking 2-bob charge. Not going back in jail at 66. So I want somebody with backing. I need a politician, somebody who's got some nous. I need a film crew to film it to show we're not doing anything illegal, and I'll stop the boats. It's absolutely fucking easy. Okay? There's no will in the country on either side of the channel to stop those boats. I get that from the French. Why would they have them all camped on their doorstep? The boats are being recycled, I've been told, and that was by a member of government. Shabby, isn't it? But the truth hurts. Keir, you're as much use as a one-legged amount of bum-kicking pie. The Tory party, I've told them. I told Boris Johnson back in the day. I told Suella Brahman back in the day. I told Peter Patel back in the day. And I've emailed all of those people. So I've got proof that A, I said it, and B, you responded and said you had my email. But you just filed it in the bin because you knew full well that it wasn't a popular thought from the government's point of view. But in 20 years' time it will be, when your kids are getting raped and pillaged, when your children are being attacked with knives, when it starts hitting the middle classes and the upper classes, then you'll worry, like in Park Lane now. Bit like San Francisco. Go to San Francisco, thousands of tents. It ain't very pretty. Wouldn't go there again. But if we don't get a Donald Trump-type man in England and start kicking ass, our country will cease to exist. And you can only blame your fucking selves, because while you're fucking faffing about on all the Instagrams and the TikToks and the social media platforms, talking shit to the same people you've been talking shit to for a long time, and nothing's happening, hold the blame. I own everything I've done wrong in my life, and I don't own everything I've done good. Some of you all need to do the same. Some of you shouldn't be able to look in the mirror. None of the politicians should be able to look in the mirror and smile at themselves. I can smile at myself, because I know I've worked hard for this country. What a waste of fucking effort. I'd never do it again. If I had my life from start again, I'd get on benefits, pip, dip, lip, kick, whatever they fucking call them. I talked to a girl, she's on $1,800 a month on benefits. What the fuck is going on? I had a girl come in to buy a car when I was selling cars. She earned more than me from benefits and I was on wages. Who the fuck is designing these systems that allow people to take the piss to that degree? It's mental. But don't worry about it. Don't have a biometric ID card because it's an ID that you can't carry, but you'll carry your phone everywhere that's a fucking spy that listens to every word you say, if it wants to. It tracks where you go. So yeah, but you've got a track. You worry about getting a tracker in your car? Throw your fucking phone in the bin. That's the biggest spy you'll ever meet in your life. But no, that phone's all right. Biometric ID card for benefits. That's not fair. That means I might be recognised if I try and claim twice, or 4 times, or 5 times, or 140 times, as the one guy I've dealt with was. He signed on in 140 names. Nobody fucking knew. And if I hadn't caught him, he would never have been caught. The country's going to shit, and it's your fault. Yes, you.